Know when you're ready.
ASU Wednesday, April 2nd, 2021.
Yeah.
Lighting controls training.
My name's Stephen Bath with Leviton Lighting. We're going to today go over your Leviton lighting control panel. You have a Green Max panel here. You open up this panel, you're going to see all your different relays. We have a control module up top, which is driving all our exterior lights. Again, this panel strictly has exterior lights in it, so we have no interior lights that we're controlling throughout this panel. In the event that you have an issue where your exterior lights are not coming on, what you'll want to do is come in this panel, take the override button and push it to the override state. In doing so, you're going to then see this panel come up and say BYP, meaning that we're in bypass, and we can manually turn our loads on or off by using the stobs associated with each relay. Once the panel gets up and going again, you go back into the normal state, and then your system will operate correctly. Under normal state, these schedules will operate, the photocell will also operate. In the override mode, the schedules will not operate, nor will the photocell. Currently, your photocell will be plugged into this port here. In the event you're having issues with it, you can remove the photocell from the system by simply removing the port off of the board. Then your photocell will not operate the lights. They will strictly turn on with the Astro clock and not turn off. In the event you have any programming change issues, you'll remove your handheld. On your handheld, you've got three different tabs. You've got monitor, timing, and configure. Under monitor, you will be able to see the particular time frame, ensure that your time and date are correct. Daylight savings time is built into the controller, but I do recommend that you utilize those 2 times a year just to put eyes on the panel. Open the panel, make sure nothing looks burnt, nothing looks damaged. Verify that your time did indeed change, and then you're rocking and rolling for another 6 months. It will give you the approximate sunrise and sunset times based on your geographical location. You can also check the status tab, which will tell you the status of every relay in the panel, whether it's on or off. We're going to escape out and go to our next tab, which is our timing tab. In our timing tab, that's where our schedules are held as far as what time our lights actually turn on and off. Due to the fact that these are only exterior lighting, we basically turn them on at sunset, and then we enable the photocell at 1 o'clock in the morning, which in turn keeps the lights on and enables the photocell throughout the remainder of the day. In the event that we need to change one of those time schedules, we're going to use our back and next arrow to move our cursor until our exterior schedule is highlighted. When we press enter and enter into our menu, you're going to see every day of the week in an uppercase letter, meaning this schedule is going to happen every particular day. If we tab our next down to any particular day and press enter, we're going to now see what happens on those particular days. The way this system is designed, it's based off of behavior methods. Behavior 6, which you'll see as a B6, turns our lights on, and then behavior 12, which you see here, is what enables our photocell. So at approximately 15 minutes before sunset, we turn our lights on, and then again at 1 a.m. we enable the photocell. In the event you decide to make changes to those times, you'll simply tab back or next until you're highlighted whatever time you want. Press enter, and then you can back and next until you go to the particular time and make whatever changes you need, either later or earlier or anywhere in between. Once you're finished, you'll hit OK at the bottom. I'm just going to escape out because we're not saving any changes. Excuse me. So that's how you would make any programming changes as far as time-wise is concerned with your actual configuration. Now, in the event, back into our timing menu. In the event your time or date gets off, you're going to go into the next tab here, which is the clock. Press enter or OK. It will bring up your clock settings, and again, you can use your next or back arrow to tab through the settings, change the time, change the date, or anywhere in between, whatever needs to happen. Again, verify that the time and date are correct. That way it ensures the lights turn on and off at the proper times. Once you're finished making any changes to your clock, you want to next down until you go to the set button, and either again press enter or OK, and it will set the clock to that particular time and date. If you do not press set, it will not change the time in the actual controller itself. We're gonna go back to home. And then we have our configure tab. Configure tab essentially allows you to make configuration changes to the system. The main things you're going to go through in here will be your save configuration button. If you make any changes to the time schedules or relays, if you add or subtract the relay from the area, you want to go in and save this configuration. By doing so, you'll just highlight save configuration and press enter, and it'll process and take all the programming within this handheld unit and push it into the panel itself. The system's default tab you typically won't use unless you need to change the defaults of the system settings themselves. Another good feature is the network inventory. In the event you're having any kind of issues and you're on the phone with either myself or tech support, we might tell you to go into this network inventory, which will basically pull all the devices that are connected to the network. On this particular case, it's only going to see the MPU and the AI board, but you want to make sure you see both of those devices if you're having any kind of communication error. Temporary PTM, you typically won't utilize. HDU settings, you may utilize in the event that you need to go in. You can update the software from here if needed via the USB port located on the top of the handheld. You can edit the projects. You can do a bunch of different things. Typically, you'll do with the assistance of myself or tech support. All the tabs at the bottom are for your programming purposes only. Generally speaking, again, you won't be involved with any of these tabs unless you're on the phone with myself or tech support or with the use of the manual. The only time you would typically be in here is if you're adding any additional relays or subtracting relays from the particular areas, or adding any additional switching or things of that nature. So once you're finished with the handheld, you always want to leave it plugged into the system and plugged into your handheld port on the controller. There are rechargeable lithium batteries in here that constantly need to be recharged, so as long as it's plugged into the system, it's going to keep themselves charged. Again, main things are, in the event you have an issue, go to override state and you're able to turn the relays on and off manually. Once you have the problem corrected, go back to normal and your schedules and your photocell will begin operating again. In the event you get a bad relay, let's just say relay number 1 goes bad, you do not want to take the wiring from relay 1 and move it down to relay 5. Relay 1 is not exactly what's programmed, it's the particular spot on the board where it's plugged in. So you do have a bunch of spares in this panel, so if relay 1 goes bad, you want to remove the relay. There's a little white stop on the back side once you take the panel cover off. You'll remove the relay, put a new relay in its place, reland the line and load wires, and you're back rocking and rolling with no program changes needed. If you move the wiring from relay 1 to relay 5, you're no longer going to have any programming. Relay 5 is not at the current time programmed to do anything, so your light will not turn on and off. Also do note they do have integral photocells into the pole light fixtures, so your wall packs, breezeway area, and your pole lights are what are being controlled through here. If you're having an issue with just one pole light, typically it's going to be integral to the photocell or the pole light itself. If you're having an issue where none of the pole lights are coming on, then it'll be a circuit issue. If you have any questions, 1-800 number for tech support is labeled on the door panel, and I also have our contact information on the front of the panel in the event of any questions or concerns you may have with the panel. And that completes our training. If you guys have any questions, again, call tech support or myself, and we'll be glad to assist you.